Good afternoon. With respect to the earlier video which I posted for the overview of arrays, lists, and the sets, I closed the video saying that if you are going to add the elements in a tree set, it is expected that you will have the elements which you are going to insert in the tree set with an interface named as comparable already implemented in their class. Such classes which are there as ready-made classes in Java are all wrapper classes, that is capital R integer, capital D double, capital C character, and capital S string. If you are going to add the instances as elements of user defined classes, then you will have problems. See how. Look at this. It's a normal person class which has got a name which is first name and the last name. There are two getter methods, get first name and get last name. You have a constructor which is a two argument constructor, first name and the last name constructor, and you have a toString method. Now if you are interested in coming up with a tree set with distinct number of persons added into it, that is a tree set of the objects of the type person, let's see what happens. See, this is the class which is there in the logic package. You have one more package which is use logic. In that you will be creating a class which is treeSetDemo, which will have a main method. Now here you have a tset of persons created, which is a blank one. Then you have got 4 persons added to the tset, and you are trying to print the contents of the tree set. See what happens. When you try and run this program, what happens is this. You get an error over here as class cast exception. You get an exception over here as class cast exception. And why? Because logic.person, which is a fully qualified name, cannot be cast to java.lang.comparable. The reason is the person class has not implemented the interface which is comparable. Had that been implemented, the interface comparable, you would have had no problem in adding the instances of the person class in tree set. Let's see how to run this program now, how to come out of this exception. The change which you are going to do is you are going to change the declaration of the person class as public person class. Public class person implements comparable in bracket person. Remember, comparable is an interface which is a generic interface. That means you will have to give the type of the element for which you are going to implement the comparable interface. Now once you change the declaration like this by adding the implements clause, what is it that you need to do? It is mandatory on the class which is trying to implement the comparable interface to override the method which is there in the comparable interface, that is compared to. Now what does this compared to method does? It requires one argument which is a person object reference. Within the method, what have we done? We have said let string pname1 be equal to the last name. Let string pname2 be equal to p dot get last name. See, by this I mean it is the last name of the object reference on which or using which you are going to call this compare to method. Now string pname2 means it is the last name of the object reference which you have passed as the argument. You are going to compare lexicographically the last name of the object on which you are calling the method compare to and the last name of the argument which you have passed through the method argument of compare to. So what is it that you will be returning? You will be returning pname1 dot compare to pname2. Means the meaning of this is this pname1 dot compare to pname2 will return either 0 if pname1 and pname2 are equal, in the sense say one is something like hi and the other one is also something like hi. That is, in the sense, the last name of one object and the last name of the other object happens to be equal, then you'll get the return value to be 0. If pname1 is greater than pname2, you will get the return as 1. And if pname2 is greater than pname1, you will get a return as -1. So writing this method, you are going to get the output appropriate. So by changing the person class with the clause as implements comparable in the less than greater than sign, you have to insert the person class and then you have to override this compare to method like this in the class. And with this change made in the person class, now you are going to run preset demo class. When you run it, you will find that you get appropriate sorting of the elements of the tree set. Otherwise, you do not get. So this is about the comparable interface. Let me end the show and then let me show you the running of the program. Okay, look here. This is the person class. Person class implements comparable and I have written person within it. It has first name and the last name, then followed by that two getter methods. It's a constructor with two arguments, then it has toString and it has got the compare to method. See, the way in which I have had pname, it is the summation of first name and the last name of the current object, that is this dot first name plus this dot last name is the meaning. Then pname2 is the argument reference p dot get first name plus the argument reference p dot get last name, and then pname1 and pname2 is compared. The logic is same. By comparing pname1 to pname2, if both these are equal, you get the return as -1. If pname1 is greater than pname2, you get return value as 1, and if pname2 is greater than pname1, you get the return value as -1. Okay, so with this as a person class, let us have a look at the tree set demo. Tree set demo has got some film actor set instantiated as tree set, Then there are some persons which are added, and then you're trying to print the details of the persons which are there in the film actors set. So what we expect is if you actually add Saif Ali plus Kareena, Shahrukh plus Gauri, Salman plus Helen, Amir plus Kiran, depending on the lexicographic order of this combined name, you will get the sorting of the individual elements present in the tree set class in lexicographic order. Let's see what is the output. You've got Amir and Kiran as the first element, then you've got Saif Ali and Kareena, then you've got Salman and Helen, and then finally you've got Shahrukh and Gauri. Probably this is something which was true so far as the sorting based on the combination of names is concerned. Now let's go back. Let us change this to just first name. Let's save this, and then let's see if we get any change. No, there is no change. Probably it's the same order, even though you consider it just the first name. Okay, then let's go back. Now let's select the last name. Here also last name, and then the two last names are compared. Let's see what happens. Over here you get a change. You get Shahrukh and Gauri as the first one, then you get Salman and Helen, then you get Saif Ali and Kareena, and then you get Amir and Kiran. It is in the particular order depending on the last name. Remember, Shahrukh, Salman, Saif Ali, and Amir are not of importance. You have to see how these are sorted because we did a customized sort based on the last names and not based on the first names. So you have to check whether Gauri, Helen, Kareena, and Kiran are sorted appropriately or not, and you will find that those are sorted. So we have done the same sample program you have to actually run and check such that you will get convinced that if we are to come up with a tree set for elements with user defined classes which are other than the wrapper classes integer, double character, and the class string, then the class, the objects of which you are going to insert in the tree set as elements must implement comparable. Thank you.